So, you remember in the original opening of Gilligan's Island, how it would list off every single member of the crew, but then when it got to the Professor and Marianne, it would just lump the two of them together and say, "and the rest"? That's kind of what today's episode is, because, yes, what I'm spotlighting today is important. It did indeed add on to E3 and was a big part of it, but we're just gonna still lump it all together and call it "and the rest." None of you remember Gilligan's Island, do you? I'm the oldest man on YouTube. Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron, and welcome to part 4 of our look at E3 2017, and today we're going to be talking about EA, Ubisoft, and Bethesda. Now, I am lumping all three of them together, not because I don't think that they are important, and not because I don't think that they show off games that we're talking about. It's because, listen man, do you guys honestly want me to do an entire episode just talking about EA's press conference? And also because, in all honesty, I don't want to do an entire episode just talking about EA's press conference. Because if you've watched enough of these shows, you know there's just certain games that I'm not into. And when it comes to EA, Ubisoft, and Bethesda, there's typically going to be only like 2 or 3 games from their press conferences that really intrigue me. So that's what I'm going to do. I am only going to talk about the games that intrigue me. So in other words, no World War II shooters, and no racing games, and no sports games. Sorry EA, we might just completely skip you altogether. Speaking of EA, let's go ahead and get them out of the way because, as I said, there's really only 2 games from their entire conference that I want to talk about, and the first one is Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now, I've heard a lot of people out there had problems with the original Battlefront. I thought it was okay. I didn't really have any problems with it. I didn't quite understand everybody's complaints for the game, but, you know, hey, whatever, that's your guys' opinion. You're allowed to have that. But I have heard a lot of people getting really excited for this one, and they're saying that it looks like it's going to fix a lot of what their problems were with it. To me, it still just looks like more Battlefront, but it looks way crisper and cleaner. Like, the graphics in this look amazing, and it's not that the graphics in the first one looked bad. I didn't think they looked bad. But this looks so shiny and sparkly. And part of that might just be because what we saw of this was set during the prequels, and the prequels were not dirty. The prequels are not run down, which to me was always kind of the charm of Star Wars, is that it was space but dirty. The prequels was set back when everything was high-tech and sparkly and shiny, so hey man, this trailer did capture that. Although that kind of felt weird to see you just destroying such beautiful looking stuff in this trailer. But here's the thing. Star Wars fans, let me know. Is this selling you on the game? Are you excited about this? Because I never really get excited about anything involving the prequels. Like, yes, it looks great, but the fact that you're going to be playing those little smart alecky toothpick robots in there, I don't know, that doesn't make me want to play this thing at all. Is what I would have said until Darth Maul showed up, and they were like, oh, that's right, you can play as Darth Maul in this thing. And you have Darth Maul going up against Yoda, and I was like, oh, that's actually kind of a cool matchup. And then at the very end of this trailer, you see Rey going up against Kylo Ren, and it's like, oh snap! They're gonna be bringing in stuff from the new films too! Okay, I am fully willing to overlook my problems with the prequels if you're going to let me play as some of the new stuff. Although my question is, how much new stuff is going to actually be in this game? Because, how's the best way that I can phrase this? Is Dr. Aphra going to be in the game? Can I play as Dr. Aphra? She's Indiana Jones in space. I want to play as that character in this game. Have they confirmed that anywhere? Are they also going to be including any of the characters from, like, say, Star Wars Rebels, or any of the newer, like the newer cartoons and comics that they've been creating? Honestly, I think that would be a big selling point to a very small market, but it would get that small market to buy this game. Now, the next game is a co-op game, and you guys know me, I'm kind of hot and cold on co-op games. Typically, the crazier the game is, the more I enjoy it. And this game is going to be a game where you're trying to escape from prison. And I was like, well, that's not that crazy. I mean, it's not something we've really seen in a video game before, so it's new. But you know, when I play co-op, I like big crazy fantasy stuff, crazy sci-fi stuff, crazy stuff, crazy bread stuff. Yeah, this one, you know, it looks more like just a storytelling drama, and that's interesting. But there's a mechanic in here that actually made me really look forward to this game. It has to be co-op. You can't do this single player, and the screen is split right down the middle, so you will be seeing your friend playing as a character on this side, and you're going to be playing as your character on this side. And what I love is that when it says, okay, it's a prison escape thing, it's not like, I don't know, a Minecraft style game where it's like, okay, well, let's just dig a tunnel together. Just dig, 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 dig. That's it. Okay, well, you look out for a guard while I keep digging. Dig, 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 dig. All right, we're gonna run together. We're gonna run. You be the lookout. I'll just keep on running here. It's not that. This is a story. This is like an actual like story with like cut scenes and numerous other characters in there. And you're going to be playing as two separate characters in here, each with their own stories, and those stories are going to be intersecting, and whenever they intersect, like you'll form like a bond between these two characters, which if you're playing with a stranger online, that could be horrible because your stranger could just be a complete jerky troll that you just find on the internet. Or it could be one of those great things where it's like, oh man, me and this total stranger kind of bonded trying to get our two prison inmates out of prison. Yeah, I've seen so many co-op games where it's like, okay, shoot the targets together. Okay, take down the enemy together. I've never really seen a co-op game in which it's live through this story together. Make progress towards your goal together, and your goal is not defeat the enemy. Your goal is something far more complex, something that actually involves this story to progress. And they said that because both players can go down different paths on this story, no two gameplays of this will ever be the same. You will be able to see, which is a total lie, we've heard that from numerous other people. Eventually, you're going to see the exact same combination. I mean, there's gotta be like, what, 20 max possible endings to this thing and possible different ways that this can work out. I don't know, maybe they really have figured out a way to make an infinite number of different possibilities for this game. But still, even if you can only give me like 20 different possibilities to how this game is going to work out, depending on how these two strangers who just get matched together, kind of like they're in prison, because of this game, if you can give me like that many different possibilities of how this game can work out based on how these players work together, that's insanely impressive to me. And again, I'm just so impressed by the fact that this is going to be a co-op game in which the purpose of it is to just follow a story with this stranger who you got matched up with. You and this other person, you're not going in there to try and defeat some big boss. You're going in there to try and escape prison, which is going to involve a lot of plans, a lot of strategies working together, and witnessing a storyline unfolding between the two of you. I think that's kind of brilliant. Next up, we're moving into Bethesda. Now, again, I've really only got two trailers that I really want to break down, but there's another one that I want to mention real quickly, which is the fact that we're going to be getting a Doom VR game. Now, I am really happy to see so many different companies out there actually embracing VR and actually wanting to make games for VR, and Doom is one of the best first-person shooters of all time. Heck yeah, that is a perfect match. That absolutely should be a VR game, and even though this isn't going to be like a complete remake of the last Doom game, even though that was an incredible game and that would be a great VR game, it's going to be its own original thing. It doesn't look like you're going to be playing Doom Guy. It looks like you're actually just going to be going into simulations, which I don't know why you don't just have the guy go on a mission. That just seems weird, but you are going to be going out there and fighting the same way that Doom Guy fought in the last Doom game. However, as excited as I am for this, I got motion sickness from the last Doom game just playing it regular style. So there's no way in hell I am going to attempt this with VR on. You guys out there, let me know how much fun it is. I ain't gonna vomit all over my carpet just to play as Doom Guy in VR. Doesn't seem worth it. Now the next thing that they announced isn't even a game. It's something that they're calling Creation Club. Now, for anybody who has ever played Skyrim or Fallout 4 on the PC, you know that other users out there create mods for that game to come up with whatever crazy thing they can imagine and put it in the game. I mean, for God's sakes, in Skyrim, there was a mod that someone made to turn all the dragons into Macho Man Randy Savage, alright? I'm not making it up. That's an actual thing that you can do with Skyrim on your PC. So what they've decided is, if you can't beat them, join them. So Bethesda has created this thing called the Creation Club, in which basically it's going to be a paid service, but it's just going to be DLC that the community creates. It's going to be mods for these two games that they themselves are going to make, but also they said some of the best, brightest brains out there on the internet are going to create, which basically translates to, hey man, if you got a good mod for this, we'll use it. But I'm honestly wondering, are they going to pay you for that mod? Or is it like, oh, if you submit it, you'll get the honor of being a part of the Creation Club. There's no money in this, it's only honor. Don't ask for money. Enjoy that honor. So yeah, I'm wondering like, cause yeah, it's not like modders typically charge for their mods. They typically are free things, but it's like if this is going to be an official thing, I'm hoping that you get some kind of a kickback from this. I'm hoping that if you go and create something that is going to end up giving Bethesda more money, they give you a part of it, but I don't know, that's something that's going to be revealed later on. But yeah, this is very interesting, because on the one hand, if you play this on the PC already, you've already got mods. You can get all the mods for these games that you want, and they're mods that you aren't going to have to go through a third party to get. You're not even going to have to pay for them. You're not going to have to wait and see if that third party approves these mods, if they think that they're right to go out there. You can get whatever crazy weird mods for these games you want in the PC. However, for the Xbox and for the PlayStation, you can't really get those. So this would bring those to this system. So yeah, I'm kind of intrigued by this. Also, I just think it's really worth pointing out, this is one of the first times I've ever seen the actual company just basically go, listen man, if everybody just wants to play the mods, let's just let them play the mods and figure out a way to make some cash off of it. So I don't know if that's a positive thing, because it's kind of like the big company looking at the internet and internet culture and going, oh, I see what you guys enjoy. But on the other hand, it's also them going, oh, I see what you guys enjoy. Let's make money off of it. Now, the first actual like full-length trailer that I want to talk about from Bethesda is The Evil Within 2. Now, you guys know me, I love scary video games. I love those video games that raise the hairs on the back of my neck and cause me to jump at every single little sound. I love games like that. And The Evil Within promised to be a game like that. And it was okay. It's a fine game, but I did not find it scary at all. There were a few kind of jump moments in there, but yeah, it did not do for me what it promised it was going to do. And now we have the trailer for The Evil Within 2, and I'm really happy to see that they're making a sequel to this game, because I love seeing new franchises return. I hate when there is a new franchise that just comes in, does a one and done, and it's out, because it's very rare that a new franchise gets everything right on the first time, and I believe that typically like the second or third installment of a franchise tends to be the best, because that's when they actually realize what they can do with this, how to fix the mistakes of the past. So I want to see this franchise come back. I want to see them actually continue to improve. This trailer, it didn't do it for me. I didn't find it scary again. Then again, we didn't really see any gameplay in here. It was really just a full-on cinematic. But I kept looking at this cinematic, just thinking like, wow, this looks like a whole lot of other things that I've seen recently. Maybe I'm just being too bitter, and maybe I'm just reaching that point in which like I'm starting to compare too many things to other things. But I kept looking at this, and like all the times that he was like freaking out and spazzing out there in the house and like the hands coming out, I was like, this kind of reminds me a little of PT, just a little bit. And then you've got like some crazy cult leader out there setting people on fire and getting everybody to join in. I was like, this kind of reminds me of that last Outlast game. And actually a whole lot of games. It just hit me how many video games have crazy cult leaders. But yeah, it's one of those trailers in which they were just trying to create a tone, because there's no gameplay in this. So there's nothing in this that actually tells me like, oh, okay, this is what the game is going to be like. So is it a story trailer? Not really, because you can't really tell what the story is. It's just a bunch of images popping up there, and don't get me wrong, once you actually play through the game, you'll be able to look back at this trailer and go, oh, I get what that means now. But at this point, yeah, there's really no way of telling what the heck is going on in this. It was really just there to create a feeling, to create a tone for this game. And again, I just wasn't scared by it. Like, nothing in this I really found to be creepy. Also, for the love of God, game developers, stop putting in here, like, passionate rock remixes of old songs. It doesn't work in the Gears of War games. Just put it to rest. Oh my god, that drove me nuts on this entire trailer. Maybe that's why I just couldn't get into it. But the song they were playing in here, I was like, oh, that's nice that you're destroying this classic. Alright, sure, great. And the last trailer that I'm going to talk about from Bethesda is Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, I have said I don't really care for World War II shooters. So I didn't play the last Wolfenstein because I looked at it and it's like, alright, it's a soldier, he's going around, he's killing Nazis, whatever, I don't really care. Apparently there was way more going on in that game than I thought. I went back after seeing this trailer and researched some stuff from the previous one, and I was like, oh, how come nobody told me that's what this game was actually about? I didn't know it got nearly as crazy as this game did, so yeah, I missed out on that one. My bad. So I'm not going to talk about this trailer from the point of view of somebody who played the previous game. I'm going to talk about from the point of view of somebody who wishes he played the previous game, because man, did he misjudge that. That's not a thing I should be admitting to in a video that's all about me coming in here and judging video games. Ignore everything I just said. But I gotta be honest with you, this might be the best trailer from this year's E3 for a couple of reasons. One, the game looks crazy and imaginative and fun, and this trailer conveyed that as a trailer should. Secondly, I actually got a sense of the story. I know what this game is actually going to be about. As I said, I watched this trailer and I went, oh, this doesn't look like what I had just assumed Wolfenstein was going to be. I need to go back and relearn what Wolfenstein is. So yeah, this game took me to school. This game taught me I was wrong. But also, the freaking creativity behind this trailer. This is a long-ass trailer. Long trailer. And it starts off with like an old TV show, like it's meant to kind of look like Lassie, and it just goes on, and then it just has this girl, she sees a guy with his foot caught underneath the car, and then she just calls out for a giant robot wolf that just shows up and just attacks the car. And the entire time, the trailer, it looks exactly the same as one of those old, like, 1950s TV shows. It plays out like one, like the music, even like the cinematography and the crispness of the film quality looks exactly like one of those, except you've got a giant mechanical wolf roaming around. I mean, even if you've never played a video game, not even Wolfenstein, just never played a video game, watch the beginning of this freaking trailer just to be impressed by what they did with this. That was stunning to me. And then the channel changes, and then changes again and again and again and again, and keeps changing to different like old-timey TV shows, except they each kind of have like cyborg Nazi flavor to them. Yeah, because the whole point of this game is basically the Germans after World War II, they beat America and they took over because they have these giant robot cyborg creatures, and that's the world that you're living in now. So this entire thing starts off by showing you, hey, what would 1950s American television look like if we kind of lost the war and there were giant robot cyborgs everywhere? So yeah, I was really impressed with that, but then it shows that the person changing the channel is a cat with its head sewn on to a monkey? Again, I thought that the first Wolfenstein was going to be a totally like accurate World War II shooter game. Again, apologies for judging that thing without looking into it. My bad. What is going on in this? But then we see that our hero from the previous game, BJ Blazkowicz, he survived, which by the way, BJ Blazkowicz, one of the best names of any protagonist in a video game ever. Again, just like this trailer, I hear the name BJ Blazkowicz and I'm like, oh, I know exactly what type of game this is going to be. Got it. It's revealed that he's still alive. His wife or girlfriend, as I said, I didn't play the original game, but man, do I want to now. It's revealed that she's pregnant, which the first thing that he says after he sees her is, man, you got fat. And the both of them laugh at it, and it's like, again, this is an amazing way to introduce people. Like, I'm not impressed on like a video game standard. I'm just impressed on a storytelling level on this. Because, as I said, I had no connection to this guy. I had never even seen this guy before. But the moment that I see that that's his reaction to seeing that his wife, who he's just seen for the first time in months, is pregnant with their children, that's his reaction, and the two of them laugh about it together. It tells me everything I need to know about his personality and their relationship with each other and her personality. Again, I am always impressed whenever you can convey that much information that quickly in a trailer. But so you've got BJ Blazkowicz trying to find this rebellion that's out on the high seas and getting them to come back to America to try and take America back and give it freedom again. And the person leading the rebellion is this like 1970s Foxy Brown character with a giant afro and smack-talking BJ Blazkowicz all over the place. This game looks, oh my god, it looks so good. Holy cow. Okay, I typically don't just spaz out at trailers like this, but again, I went into this thing and like, alright, so first game, World War II shooter thing, whatever. And then I'm sure in this one it's a continuation. Oh, Nazis won. Well, that's interesting. Wait, where's the giant cyborg dog thing? What's with the cat monkey? Oh my god, these characters are insane and crazy and goofy, and I love everything about that. Oh my goodness. But okay, let's go ahead and move into something completely different by talking about the Ubisoft press conference, because they did indeed start this off with something completely different. They started off by showing a game that had been leaked ahead of time, but nobody knew what the hell it was, because it was such a crazy idea for a game that when people heard the title for it, they thought you were joking. Nobody thought this was an actual game until they actually started seeing like the leaked photos of the game. Mario and the Rabbids are having a crossover. Yeah, you know those weird little deformed Rabbids that just do nothing but scream? They're crossing over. They're having a freaking crossover game. And all we had heard was just the title of this game. We had heard that this was happening. Nobody knew what the game actually was. I would have put money down it was going to be a party game, because the Rabbids games are party games, and Mario is known for his party games. Like, yeah, matches up perfectly. Except why is Mario holding a gun in this? Okay, it's not a gun, it's like a Mega Man style shooter. But still, why is Mario holding something that shoots out energy blast? Seems weird for a party game. Are they going to fight each other? Because why wouldn't Mario just use his jumping powers and his fireballs? Again, seems weird. This is a turn-based strategy game. Yeah, it's XCOM in the Mushroom Kingdom. I heard about this days ago and I'm still processing this thing. Now I will say I actually think the designs on the Rabbids is pretty creative, because they actually merged the Rabbids with the Mario characters, so there isn't just Mario and Luigi and Peach and Yoshi, there's also a Mario and Luigi and Peach and Yoshi Rabbid. So like, okay, that's kind of cool, and these kind of have like their own different weapons. I like that they actually gave each of the different Rabbids personalities. Like I love that the Peach Rabbid is constantly taking selfies. Oh, that was kind of cute. It's like, alright, that's kind of funny, whatever. But they're going to be going up against like weird mutant Rabbids who look like they just came from the Road Warrior. Yeah, this game is getting kind of nuts already. But yeah, you're basically just going to run into an area made up of little blocks and pipes, just like in the Mushroom Kingdom. And you're going to have to break down these blocks, sneak around them, go through the pipes to be able to find ways to attack each of these enemies. And they showed that you can do a ton of stuff in one match. Like, there's one where a rabbit runs up, jumps in a pipe, goes under the pipe, comes up behind him, attacks an enemy from behind, then jumps out of there to go to a totally different area. It's like, okay, that is a lot. Typically, you can just run to a point and shoot in one of these types of games. So, alright, you're being pretty darn creative with that. But there's also like a moment in which a rabbit has to get up to a higher plane. So, like, Mario and Luigi just keep shooting him, causing him to bounce back and forth between their energy blasts until he gets up to the higher point. And when I saw that, all I could think was, how does that work? Is that like just a command where you just hit, get me up to that point, and then you guys get you to that point? Or is it one of those things where you need them to be able to stand in specific points where they can get a clear shot at you to be able to get you up there? Or is it somewhere you're going to have to take control of both Mario and Luigi and time your blast to be able to make it get up there? I think this game looks like it could be great, except I don't yet know how it works. Like, I would feel way better if I could hear some people who have had hands-on experiences with the game coming in here and going, oh yeah, I played it, it works exactly like you think it would. It works perfectly. So when I finally hear that, then I'll be sold on the game, but at the moment I'm like, alright, you got good ideas, but I want to know if it actually functions the way that you think it will. Next up, I'm just going to talk about this real quick, because I talked about what might be some of the best trailers of E3, but to me, this is actually my personal worst of E3. This was my least favorite, and I hate saying that because it's a horror game for the VR, and I'm really excited for anything involving VR and horror games, and it's got Elijah Wood working on the game. Elijah Wood is a flat-out geek. That dude knows how to make some good geeky properties. So if he wants to come in here and go, hey man, I've got a great idea for a video game, I trust him. I think he could come up with something great. This trailer, it was just a bunch of people standing around talking about this game, talking about how, oh yes, well we want this game to actually feel like you're living in this, and it's going to do this thing over here, and oh, it's going to be quite a unique experience. And it was really just a bunch of buzzwords. It's a lot of stuff that we have heard over and over and over again from people describing other video games, except that they then typically also show you some stuff with the video game. This was just the buzzwords. And towards the end of it, it kind of goes in this weird, vague hint at what the game might be about, where it's a game where you're playing through a story where you don't know what is reality, I think, because really, I can't tell at all what this game is going to be. So it was the vaguest trailer I've ever seen for a video game. I mean, in a way it's worse than like just an announcement trailer where they just put up there the name of the game that's coming. Because yeah, I talked about that in the Nintendo press conference. I was like, yeah, even when you don't have any gameplay and you don't even know what the game's going to be yet, you can come up with some kind of a vague tease that gets people excited. This one, it was like, it wasn't a vague tease, it was like a non-existent tease. It was like, I have no idea what you're even trying to say in this. And it's just going on and on and on. As I said, hard game for the VR, Elijah Wood, I trust that dude, I think he can come up with something great. This could turn out to be an amazing game, but this trailer, I have less interest in this game after seeing that trailer than I did when I didn't know it existed. Next up was the new trailer for Far Cry 5. Now, I'm going to go ahead and admit to you guys, I'm not really a Far Cry fan. I played 3, and as soon as there comes a point in that game, I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't played, but there is a very interesting character in that game, and he then leaves the game, and I was like, I don't care about playing the rest of this game after this. Because I enjoy the gameplay mechanics of it. I enjoy going around exploring this world and going and breaking up these groups of bad guys and then taking their base, making the base your own, learning new skills. You know, it's fun, but it's just a lot of that. It's a lot of that. It just goes on and on. And I'm not really that big a fan of open world games either, because to me, all open world games just kind of go on and on and on. So many open world games are, alright man, you gotta get from here to over there. Cool, can I teleport? No, I literally just have to walk or drive that entire distance. Okay, well, I mean, it's fun. This place looks beautiful. Look at all the animals around me. Oh man, this is a great experience walking this distance. By about the time you get halfway through that game, it's like, I don't want to walk anymore to new places. I just want this game to progress. And yeah, the Far Cry games to me, they kind of are just a lot of the same thing. As I said, I only played 3, but I know a lot of other people who played 4 and played Primal, and they were like, yeah, it's kind of that too. It kind of just starts repeating itself over and over again. So I'm really hoping that this game fixes that. I'm really hoping that it spices the gameplay up a little bit and it's not just so much of the same stuff over and over again. However, I am very intrigued by where this game is set, because the previous Far Cry game, it was always, alright, you're on some island. Oh, you're off in this country. Oh, you're back in time. This one's set in America, in the South, where a crazy cult leader has taken over an entire town, and you're the new sheriff, and you gotta go in there and save the day. That's different. Kudos to any franchise out there that's been around this long and still decides, you know what, time to spice things up. This is spicing things up a lot. But the new trailer that we got during this press conference showed us your allies. It shows that you have got people that you can hire to be on your side, and they're going to come in there and help you take them out, and you're going to be able to give them commands. It's not just you sneaking into a place as they go off and do their own thing and you just hope that they don't screw anything up. You get to go, alright, wait on that watchtower, take out that guy over there, go on my signal, wait, now you can do it. It's like, okay, that's kind of cool. I kind of enjoy that you have skilled people who your character trusts, and the game is going to have them do exactly what you want them to do, but they're good enough to be able to figure out what you want them to do. At least I hope so. I hope that they don't just follow you exactly, like if you accidentally point at the ground next to an enemy, they shoot the ground instead. But you know, I trust these guys are going to be able to figure out a way around that. But yeah, I actually really dig all the characters that you saw in here. You see the lady, she's the sniper, and she's taking out these guys from the air. Then you've got a dog that comes in there. And I love any game that adds a dog to your team. This dog not only comes in there and will like rush into your enemy and jump on them and take them down. When you take out an enemy, he will then run up, grab their gun, and bring the gun back to you to reload your ammo for you. Good boy. Good boy. That's actually a really cool thing to have your dog do in this game. And then you've got another guy who comes in from the sky in his little plane and takes people out. It's like, okay, that's cool. But you can also get just random people online to come in there and help you out too. That's cool, because the whole idea is that this town is being oppressed by this crazy cult leader and you're trying to get all the people in this town to rise up and fight with you. That's a great gameplay mechanic to try and simulate that. Basically, the people that you meet online are other people living in this town. And when they come and help you, it's like the people of this town rising up. Alright, cool. Anytime that a game can actually work a mechanic into the story like that, I'm really impressed. Now, the last trailer that I'm going to talk about from Ubisoft and from all of E3 is Beyond Good and Evil 2. Now, I'll go ahead and be honest with you guys, I never played the first Beyond Good and Evil, and I've always regretted that, because I actually had a perfect opportunity to play it, because back when I was a kid, I went into an electronics boutique, whatever eventually became GameStop. I went into that store and I said, yeah man, I'm looking for a game, I'm looking for something new, something that I haven't played before. And they started recommending and praising the hell out of Beyond Good and Evil. They were like, this game is so creative, so imaginative, the characters are wonderful, the story is great, the mechanics are so new, you've got to check this out. And I was like, okay, that's cool, but I've never heard of that game before, so screw it. I was kind of a pompous little jerk back in those days. So I never got a chance to play that game, and ever since then I've just heard people praising this game, talking about how good it is, how much fun it was, basically everything that that guy said back when I was a kid. And now I'm gonna kind of get a chance to jump back into that world because they are actually finally, after all these years, making a sequel to it. And that's great for numerous reasons. One, as I said, I get a chance to finally play this franchise. Two, there is actually a continuation to this franchise. Even though I never played this game, I know what it's like to have a game that you love, that you adore, is one of your favorites of all time, but it was too obscure and didn't sell well enough, so they're never making another one. R.I.P. Skies of Arcadia. R.I.P. So yeah, applause to all you Beyond Good and Evil fans. I'm glad that you get that to come back, but also, in a weird way, this kind of says a lot about geek culture and about the internet and the way that a fan base can kind of latch on to something and love it so much that they turn it into something that even if people never played this game, they can now want to play this game because they've been able to see the passion in other people. Because announcing a new game, a sequel to a game, that's not uncommon for them to use that as the last big announcement of a conference. But this isn't like some major game. As I said, Beyond Good and Evil was kind of obscure. Not a lot of people played it. A lot of people thought that game was gone forever because it didn't sell well enough. So the fact that after all these years, people have talked this up and been this excited about it, and that's caused so many other people to become that intrigued with this game that Ubisoft closed the conference on it, that says a lot. As I kind of said with the Sony press conference, it says a lot about comic book culture and how big the comic book community has become that they closed that entire conference on just showing Miles Morales, some guy who nobody outside of the comic book community knows who he is. That said a lot about that. This says a lot about how the internet is able to bring stuff back. How it's able to make any franchise that people thought was gone forever kind of live again and get other people excited for it. But what about the actual trailer itself? Well, we didn't see any actual gameplay in here. However, unlike many of these other story trailers, I can look at this and tell exactly what the gameplay is going to be. As you see them escaping, as you see them riding on their little motorcycle, hovercraft thing, whatever, and then you've got the monkey man with the bionic commando arm just latching onto ships and jumping from one to the next and jumping through them. It's like, okay, even if I have not seen actual gameplay, I know what you're going to be doing in this game. But beyond that, just the flavor of this trailer is incredible. This entire world looks so imaginative, and the graphics are able to perfectly capture that feeling. It really does have a sense of adventure and high-flying fun as they are racing away from this pigman gangster character. And you, as I said, you have a freaking chimp with the bionic commando arm. I mean, that alone gets me excited for this game, but it's just so darn fun, that escape sequence. Even if you're not going to be able to play anything like that in the actual game, the fact that that's kind of the tone that they want this game to have makes me think there are going to be plenty of other fun moments in this game. And the characters themselves are loaded with personality. I freaking love that chimp. Between him and the orc in that Shadows of War trailer, this has been the year of Cockney British non-human characters just winning all of E3. I freaking fell in love with that little British chimp guy. He is just such a cocky little jerk. I mean, he's able to talk this gangster into giving him what he needs by tricking him with chocolate. Stuff like that is just fun to me, and as I said during the Nintendo press conference, it's important for games to come in here and just go, hey man, it's all about fun. And listen, as I said, I never played the original Beyond Good and Evil, so I don't really know what the story is supposed to be in this one. But just looking at the design of this world, it looks almost like this is supposed to be like heavily inspired by Journey to the West, that old Chinese story that was all about the Monkey King and the priest having to travel across the country to go and slay all these demons, because you've got this monkey guy in there with an extending arm, which the Monkey King had an extending pole, and he's going off there and he's tricking a pig, which there was a big pig in that story as well, and then they have to get on a ship and travel somewhere to a destination. And I'm like, I know that that's kind of like some vague stuff to tie one to the other, but I can't help it. It does really look like it's going to be partly inspired by that classic tale. So, I don't know. It seems kind of bold for them to interpret an age-old story like that into high-flying motorcycle battles. But alright guys, that's it. That's my analysis of every single conference at this year's E3. I'm going to have one more video in which I just kind of talk about my final thoughts about this year's E3, if I have the voice left to do it. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've been kind of deteriorating with every single one of these videos we made. I am shocked I made it through this one. I think I just repeated the word fun several times over in this and hoped it made sense. Fun, 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 fun. I'm like a dance club song. Anywho, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning in to all the videos, actually. And if you want to see more stuff from me, make sure you click on that subscribe button, and you can always follow me on Twitter and Tumblr and Twitch at Professor ThorgE3.